Tell us a little bit about the movie. What can we expect?
Yeah, it's a Christmas movie. It's very funny. It's a sequel to a Fairly Odd movie, and we left off with, Timmy and Tootie sort of starting this new business, wishful thinking, and being able to grant wishes for, tons of people across the world, and I think that Timmy gets a little ahead of himself and starts granting maybe too many wishes and not always the best wishes, and so it kind of upsets Santa because that's Santa's job, and so we go up to the North Pole to sort of take it up with him, and chaos ensues with the fairies and the elves and magic all over, and basically Timmy has to save Christmas, essentially, so we go on an adventure to get him off the naughty list and make Christmas back to normal.
Wow, it sounds so magical.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it. Was it kind of difficult for you filming with the fairies and everything like that, working like that?
It's different. There was a lot of, like I said, special effects, but there were also a lot of green screen, and the fairies are all CGI, so when we do look at the fairies, when we do talk to the fairies, we're basically looking at nothing, so we just have to always make sure that, our eye lines match up so that it doesn't look like Drake's looking at someone and I'm looking at another one, and it's tricky, but it's definitely worth it. It's really fun. It's always nice when you see the outcome and you're like, oh, I totally buy it.
Right. What's your overall experience like working with Drake Bell as well?
Super fun. He's awesome. Him and I work really well together. He takes his job pretty seriously. We were both so honored to be playing, the live-action versions of Timmy and Tootie, so to be doing that and experience it together, I mean, it's nice when you're both excited about something. You really want the best for the movie, so that was basically how we approached it, and we were happy to do the second one, and, it's been really, really fun.
Well, very cool. I know we love the cartoon, so seeing it come to real life, I mean, there's nothing better.
Yeah, I know.
And we see you're getting into the Christmas spirit on Instagram and stuff like that. You're posting Christmas trees. So that's cool. Tell us, do you have any holiday plans coming up?
Yeah, I'm going up north with my boyfriend to see his family for Christmas, and I'm really excited to just be kind of where it's colder and, experiencing new traditions. I mean, growing up, I always had, the big holiday dinner on Christmas Eve and got to open one present, and Christmas morning was always so exciting, and basically just laid low all day and played with whatever we got and just hung out with my family. So I always think that Christmas is just so fun and so nostalgic every year, and I'm open to a new experience.
Very cool. I know we love Christmas. Best time of the year for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And what's on your Christmas wish list? Anything this year?
Well, I did ask my aunt for a crock pot. So she told me that she's getting me one, and I'm very excited about that. Other than that, I'm sort of so taken care of. I don't really need anything. I love candles. And I hope that someone gets me a candle, because I always go through candles pretty quickly.
Well, that's good to know. Now everyone knows what you want, so.
Yeah.
How about, we keep seeing as well, is there something about a puppy going on, that you want a puppy?
Oh, yeah, I would love a puppy. I would so love a puppy. I've always wanted a dog, and I think, being grown up, it's so fun to, take care of something, and a puppy is just so comforting and nurturing, and I love having responsibilities like that. So hopefully soon in the future, I would love a puppy.
That would be great, I know.
Mm-hmm.
How about, again, any Christmas movies that you like watching yearly, or any of your favorites?
Yeah, growing up, my dad loved The Christmas Story, so we used to always watch that on Christmas Day. Mm-hmm. But I love, the Santa Claus movie with, Tim Allen, and the Home Alone movie, the first Home Alone movie. And I don't know, I'll watch any Christmas movie. I think they've all got, a really cute, sweet, message in it, and it just makes you feel all mushy about Christmas, which is fun.
Yeah, we watched all those. How about any Hallmark movies? Did you catch up on any of those?
Oh, yeah. Last year, I think I watched every single one on Hallmark, and this year I'm basically just rewatching them and hopefully waiting for the new ones to come out. I'll watch them all. I don't care how cheesy they are.
I know. I agree, and thank goodness for DVR, right?
Yeah, totally.
And then we're also going to ask you just about Victorious. Can you tell us, for the final episode, towards the end, what do you think they're going to leave us on a happy note? I know you can't say much, but what do you think we can expect?
Totally. I mean, Victorious is a sitcom, you know? I mean, it's a fun, funny show, and I think you probably won't even realize which one's going to be the last episode if you were to rewatch them, because it's just kind of like your typical storyline, and we basically just have the best time on every episode. So the last episode was definitely just as fun.
That's great. You know, all I think of my favorite episode was you with the freak the freak out with the gums that you went to the dentist.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness, that was nuts. And what's funny about that is I actually had my wisdom teeth out shortly after that, I think. And I was terrified because I remember that episode so clearly, and I was like, oh, my gosh, this is going to be a nightmare. I'm going to be a mess and this and that. I had the best experience ever. Anytime a kid comes up to me and they mention that episode and talk about how scared they are to get their wisdom teeth, I'm like, it is so easy. It's such a quick process. I didn't even need any painkillers or anything. And it's really not as crazy as Trina made it look like it was.
Wow, so you weren't screaming, right?
Not at all, no.
That's good, that's good. And we were going to ask you, those stunts that you're being tossed everywhere all around, that wasn't you? How much did you do to that extent?
I did a good portion of it. I definitely did. I mean, that's one of the things I like to pride myself on, sort of, is like, it's fun to act and it's fun to be a girl and look pretty and this and that, but I think the stunts are sometimes what's most rewarding because, you know, it makes it much easier for the cameras to make it look realistic if you can do them yourself. And fortunately, I grew up with, like, a neighborhood full of boys, and I had a younger brother myself, and my dad was big on motocross and camping and all sorts of, like, fun, active sports. So I'm not really too fearful when it comes to that stuff. So I think I did most of my stunts in Victorious and definitely most of them in Fairly Odd Parents.
Wow, that's great.
And Fairly Odd Christmas, too.
That's very cool. Yeah, nothing better than seeing the real you, though, because what's the point of seeing a stunt? You know what I mean? If it's you, it's believable.
Right. Totally. As long as you're not going to break your head or something.
Exactly. Safety first. And do you have a favorite Victorious episode that you can think of?
The first one that came to mind as soon as you said that was, I'm forgetting the name of it, but it was the one where I sang Chicago, and I did that whole one-woman show. I think it was called One-Woman Show. I'm not sure, but it was just, for me, it was like early on in the show, and it kind of challenged me because it was a big episode, and I had tons of looks and tons of different characters that I was doing, and it was really, really fun. And I had also some stunts as well, and I don't know, I love that one, and then I also did I love the one where I did a lot of, like, martial arts when it went into, like, the flashbacks of how Trina got in. I think that's what it's called.
Yes.
That was a more recent episode, and that was fun, too.
Now, tell us, can you actually sing in real life?
Funny thing is, like, I used to sing a lot growing up, and I still sing definitely, like, just for fun. I have a thing with taking myself too seriously. I'm much more of a jokester, and I like being a little bit more of, like, the comedic relief in the group. So I've always sort of just given myself an out and said, like, I'd rather just be silly and sing silly and act silly. But if need be, I think I could probably hold a tune.
And we have to actually, like, flash back real quick and just mention Taking 5.
Oh, wow, okay.
You know, the reason we say is because we know Eric Dill and we interviewed him, so we have to we have to ask you about that. How'd you like filming that?
Oh, it was so much fun. I had the best time. That was, like, a really cool experience for me because I was, like, 17, and, you know, we were out in gorgeous, like, Utah for whatever it was, maybe a couple months, and working with all those guys was a really, really good time. I felt like a teenage girl, like, living out her boy band dream all over again.
Yes. Can you imagine if something like that happened in real life?
Yeah, I feel like now it happens. I see all sorts of people that I idolized when I was younger.
Are you a fan of any boy bands yourself, One Direction or The Wanted or anything like that?
Not necessarily. I'm sort of more, I love it all. You know, I love just good pop music, anything I could dance to and have a good time to. Nothing really in particular. Right now I've been watching, like, X Factor and The Voice, so I think I've been, like, in support of all of those. I'm, like, a huge fan of Carly Rose. I think she's awesome, so good luck to her.
Yeah, she's very talented. Did you see when she sang the Titanic song?
Oh, I saw it all, and funny enough, I guess I have a friend who is in the band, in X Factor, and she had mentioned to him that she was a fan of mine or Victoria's or whatever it was, so we tweeted a little back and forth on Mr. Luck, and so it's kind of crazy how that stuff happens, because I'm like, I'm such a fan of hers, and to think that she's even aware that I exist is cool. I had, like, a little giddy moment.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And we're going to ask you about your Twitter right now. We see you do a lot of Keek Keeking?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that. How do you like doing that?
I like keeking. It's like a really quick way to like give like a personal, video message out, and I think it's fun. I mean, it makes me feel real, I mean, obviously I don't have a ton of exciting things to geek about, but for me, like, anytime I'm just being silly or whatever, I think it's fun to share it and just make sure people know that I'm like a totally normal person.
Yes.
Just as I'm on TV, it doesn't mean anything. I'm definitely a weirdo in real life.
Exactly. Well, we love it. We get to see the real you, like you said.
Yeah.
And how about Twitter? Do you like using that?
I love Twitter. I think it's fun. I have a lot of friends of mine that I even follow, and we keep in touch that way. I've found some of the kids that I worked on Simple Rules with, like Kaylee Cuoco and Amy Davidson, I found them through Twitter, and now we hang out. So it's like such a small world how Twitter can, like, sort of like keep you in touch with people. And especially be able to like hear from fans and have that connection with them right off the bat is really special.
That's great. I mean, like, think about it. Like, in the past, we didn't have Twitter to connect us to anybody or anything. So what did we do? I don't know.
I know. It's crazy.
Exactly. And we have to ask you a couple get-to-know-you questions. One thing we wanted to ask you is your favorite fast food restaurant?
My favorite fast food restaurant? The first thing that came to mind would be Chipotle.
Good choice. And do you eat a vegan diet, or what type of food do you eat?
Yes, vegan diet.
Oh, okay, cool, because we noticed a couple cupcakes. You bake them like that?
Yeah, totally.
That's cool. And also, who is your current celebrity crush?
I can't say I have one. I was never that girl that got giddy about celebrity boys, funny enough. But there's some cute kids out there, I'm sure.
Yeah, a lot to choose from. And how about one thing we may not know about you?
One thing you may not know about me is that I'm a brown-black stripe in Taekwondo and mixed martial arts.
Oh, very cool. How long have you been doing that for?
I got it as a gift for my 16th birthday from my dad, and I did it probably sometimes 2 to 6 hours a day for a good few years, and I progressively just got that much more into it, but I kind of had to give it up as soon as I started working because I was getting hurt here and there. But I'm a big fan of it, and I still consider it a part of my life. I love doing things like I said, the stunts and martial arts and stuff like that. I think that's why I was able to incorporate it to like the Stupid Ninjas episode and Victorious as well.
Right, very cool. And is there any other new projects you're working on?
Not really. I'm sort of working a little bit with getting like some sort of dance video out. So I'm working with a choreographer named Elise Baker and also Awesomeness TV. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, very cool. Well, everyone needs to make sure to tune in to Fairly Odd Christmas.
Yeah.